Look what I've got. What's going on, everybody? I go by the name of Stikz, and this is an unboxing for you. Right here I have the elusive Daemon X Machina controller. It is the Split Pad Pro. Alright. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, and it's semi-hard to get right now. I pre-ordered it off Amazon, and had to wait a little bit after release date. So what we have here is replacement Joy-Cons, basically. They have buttons on the back here. They have a grip to hold. So these are pretty much the layout of the Pro controller I have right here. You need to see them next to each other. So yeah, if I put this together, then you got this guy. Why would you need Joy-Con replacements, you ask? Well, when you play in handheld mode all the time like I do, these little Joy-Cons can get a bit cramped. So on the back, you see there's not much of a grip. There's just these top things here so they don't slide past your fingers, which is okay. But when you're playing for a long time, rather than play this on the TV, it can get a little crampy for your fingers. So you don't want to be doing this, you know? As you can see, there's a huge size difference. Now, these have a much better feel than the regular Joy-Cons. And it is similar in feel to how the Pro controller is. But I can tell you this, the D-pad on the Pro controller is a bit stiff. It doesn't have anything you can do with the middle of the controller. You can't push down in the middle of the controller and feel like you are not hitting to the side, which is the big major problem with the Pro controller D-pad. On this, you can hit the middle and hit the middle. You don't feel like you're hitting up, down, left, or right there. It doesn't feel like the buttons. These are buttons underneath the Pro controller here. This feels like a real D-pad. So I don't know what's up with Nintendo, but lately they haven't been able to make a good D-pad on their licensed controllers. But Hori's done a good job here, definitely making this one. And the D-pad is the real reason you want to get this. The analog sticks here feel pretty much the same as the Pro controller. You get a lot more give here. They're a little more stiff on the Pro controller. Which, I mean, these actually feel better because they're higher up slightly, and you can push in on them. But they do have that little click. You have your negative and positive buttons up here, left and right. The buttons up top here feel nice. I mean, you get no analog feel, just like the other controllers. You don't get that on the Switch, but they're not overly loud. I mean, the back buttons, maybe a little, but the front ones, no, you don't hear anything, but they do feel nice. They do give you a feedback. And then these buttons here, how do they feel in comparison? These are much louder. Well, pretty much the same sound. So on the bottom here, you have your assign button, your turbo button, an assign button over here, and a turbo button. So pretty much you can assign what you want these buttons to do, but only on the buttons that are on the right controller and the buttons that are on the left controller, based on which assign button you hit. And that goes for these buttons in the back here also. I will probably turn those off because when I'm playing it like this, I don't really feel a need to hit those. But if I'm playing like something like a Fortnite or some type of first-person shooter, like Doom or something, you can set those back buttons to do like duck or jump or whatever you want, like to switch weapons on the fly, so you don't have to take your fingers off the buttons. But I don't play much first-person shooters like that, so I'm probably gonna just not use those buttons. Because knowing me, I'll hit them by mistake. So now you might say, what's missing from this controller, since all I've had was high praise for it? Well, for one, there is no rumble in this controller, no force feedback, and there are no batteries. So you cannot take this off and put them together and play it like a regular Pro controller. You have to leave it like this here. and have it right on the sides. Because when you take them off, they're useless. But, like I said, you'll want to use this when you want to play this in portable mode, and you play it most of the time in portable mode. When I want to play it on TV, then, I can play it with the Pro Controller here, or, the Joy-Cons. I can put them in a little dock. And obviously, if you're portable with this, you can't really put this in your pocket, but you couldn't really do it in the first place with the real one. That's what the Switch Lite is for. Or, as I would say, the Light Switch. Nintendo, you missed the opportunity to call it a Light Switch. But the Switch Lite, yeah, that's for portability. This is definitely extra bulky. So, you can still throw it in your bag. You can still dock it. They don't get in the way. But as far as carrying this around all the time outside the house, it's going to add quite a bit of bulk. So that's another negative. They are lighter. They feel light because like I said, they don't have much in it because of there's no motors and no batteries. A positive to that is that it does not drain battery by having them plugged in. Like when you have the Joy-Cons, they have to recharge their batteries. So when you have it in there, it's recharging the batteries on these by keeping them charged, and it's taking more power out of the Switch. Now, is it a significant amount? Probably not, but it's a positive. Another game this will probably work perfect with is Daemon X Machina, since that's what it's for. See that X there? That's the branding. All right, let's give this controller a little test and play some Blaze Blue. Okay, that's how to get your ass beat. It's hard to play through a camera, I tell you. But I'm not having a hard time. Yeah, baby. That's how you do it. All right, no problem with the D-pad there. Another reason you want the Split Pad Pro instead of, say, putting a grip on your Joy-Con controller and maybe getting the smaller Hori replacement Joy-Con that has the D-pad on it. Instead of getting those, you'd rather get the Hori pad here, the Split Pad Pro, because you don't want to be wearing out your Joy-Cons analog sticks. I pre-ordered my Switch and I've had my Joy-Con since day one with no problems on the analog sticks, but I'm going to try and not put a whole bunch of wear and tear on it because they're prone to drift. So I'll just use these analog sticks and I won't have a problem with that because they're not made the same way. So that's just another positive on why you might want this controller. Is this a better controller than the Joy-Cons? Yes, and for that, I recommend them. Are they the best D-pad for the Switch? That is yet to be determined. And I will be testing these out versus other controllers in the future, so keep an eye out on the channel if you want to find out more. So please rate, comment, and subscribe, of course, and listen to our podcast every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, live on Twitch. So until next time, this is Stikz signing off, Level 857. Peace.